Welcome to another Tech Stories by Techarc. For years, when you heard the name iQOO, you thought of one thing and one thing only: pure, raw gaming power. But what if a phone could be, well, more than that? Today, we're diving into the iQOO 15, a phone that isn't just trying to win the game, it's trying to rewrite the rules for the whole premium market. And let's just start with this quote from our source material because, wow, that's a powerful statement. This isn't just some marketing slogan, okay? This signals a huge shift in strategy. The idea here isn't just to be a cheaper alternative to the big guys anymore. No, the goal now is total dominance in every single category. So what on earth is a super smartphone? Well, think about it. The market is growing up, and we, the users, are demanding a lot more from our devices. It's just not enough anymore for a phone to be great at only one thing. This is all about leaving that single-minded focus, like just gaming, behind to build a device that truly excels at everything. We're talking performance, battery, camera, display, the whole shebang, the complete uncompromised package. All right, let's get into the guts of this thing. The source doesn't just call it fast. That would be an understatement. It describes the feeling of using it as something closer to having a supercomputer in your pocket. Now that is a bold, bold claim, so let's see what's actually powering this beast. So what's under the hood? Well, you've got the absolute latest and greatest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor, and it's working right alongside iQOO's own special supercomputing chip Q3. Now, to stop all that power from melting, there's a massive 8K vapor chamber cooling system, and that dual-axis vibration motor, it might seem like a small thing, but it's what makes every tap and swipe feel incredibly crisp and responsive. Okay, so all that hardware sounds impressive, but how does it actually translate into real power you can measure? Well, on the AnTuTu benchmark test, the iQOO 15 pulls this absolutely massive score. A number like this tells you one thing very, very clearly. This phone is all about raw, top-of-the-line speed. But a big number doesn't mean much without some context, right? This chart really puts it into perspective. You can see it just, and I mean just, squeezes past its biggest rival, the Realme GT8 Pro. And it leaves the OnePlus 15 way behind. So for now, at least, this thing is the undisputed king of performance. But look, having all the power in the world is completely useless if your phone is dead by lunchtime. And this brings us to what might just be the iQOO 15's most impressive feature: its incredible endurance. The secret weapon here? A brand new 7,000 milliamp hour silicon anode battery. Now, to put that into perspective, that is one of the biggest batteries ever put inside a flagship phone. And the craziest part is that the device is still surprisingly light. That's a real feat of engineering right there. So what does a 7,000 mAh battery actually mean for your daily use? Well, during some heavy real-world testing, and we're talking intense gaming, being on 5G data constantly, even shooting 4K video, this phone consistently delivered over 10 hours of screen on time. That easily makes it one of the best endurance flagships you can buy, period. Okay, so performance is sorted, battery is sorted. But what about the part of the phone you actually look at all day, the screen? Well, it just so happens to be the brightest in its class. In high brightness mode, it can hit 2,600 nits, which easily outshines a major competitor like the Google Pixel 10 Pro. What that means for you is that you can actually read your screen perfectly, even in that harsh, direct Indian sunlight. Now, for years, there's been this unspoken rule, hasn't there? Gaming phones just have to compromise on the camera. It was always the trade-off you made to get that peak performance. Well, the iQOO 15 is here to tear that rulebook into tiny little pieces. And the source material makes this crystal clear. This device was specifically designed to shatter that old stereotype. This isn't just about putting good specs on a piece of paper. It's about delivering a genuinely high-quality and versatile camera that can actually compete with the best of the best out there. And here's the hardware to prove they're serious. You're looking at a full 50-megapixel triple camera setup with a main lens, an ultra-wide, and a proper 3x telephoto lens. It can shoot video all the way up to 8K, and our source specifically points out how good the stabilization is, giving your videos a really professional, cinematic look and feel. So, the specs on day one are amazing, but a true premium device has to be a smart long-term investment, right? You want to know, how long will it get new features? How long will it stay secure? And iQOO's answer to that question is, well, it's very, very impressive. The company's commitment here is seriously strong.
The iQOO 15 is promised 5 major Android OS updates that will take it all the way to Android 21. And on top of that, you get 7 years of security patches. This kind of support really makes it a genuinely future-proof device.
It all sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? But for a fair and balanced view, we have to look at the criticism. After all, no phone is absolutely perfect. The main complaint our source points out is something they call the two App Store problem. Basically, having both the company's own V App Store and the Google Play Store installed from day one just creates clutter and redundancy. For a premium phone aimed at users who want a clean, simple experience, it just feels unnecessary. So let's bring it all together. You've got performance that tops the charts, a battery that lasts forever, and a surprisingly great camera, all weighed against one minor software complaint. So what's the final verdict? Well, the source concludes that the iQOO 15 is nothing short of an engineering triumph. It finally bridges that gap between a hardcore gaming rig and a polished, premium phone for everyday use. With performance nobody can match and a battery that just refuses to quit, it becomes the go-to default choice for any power user. The whole conversation is no longer about killing flagships. It's about creating a whole new category of smartphone.